If I didn't have you, life would be blue. I'd be Doctor Who without the TARDIS.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 Big Bang Theory moments that made us happy cry.
You're about to make me cry, and we both know if I start crying, you're gonna start crying.
Don't be sad. For this list, we'll be looking at those moments of joy and happiness that had us all tearing up. Spoilers ahead. Which of these moments had you wiping away the happiest of tears? Let us know in the comments. Number 20, Penny says, "I love you." In season 3, Leonard tells Penny that he loves her, to which a grateful and uncertain Penny responds with an awkward "thank you."
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Not only does she not say it back, but it's this lack of reciprocation that leads to them breaking up. Jump ahead 3 seasons, they're back together, and she finally says it.
Listen to me, you are the one I'm with. You know I love you, so will you please relax because you're driving me crazy?
She might not mean to say it, and it just kind of slips out, but she truly feels it, and the significance of the moment can't be overstated. While the two of them try not to cry, we can't stop at least a few tears of joy from falling. Number 19, Sheldon and Leonard realize how much they mean to each other. Sheldon and Leonard's friendship is the bedrock of the show, and the basis of many great moments. However, given everything Leonard has to deal with, it's also fair to ask the question, why does he put up with it? It's a question many, including Leonard, have asked before.
I don't live with the woman I love because of you. No other reason, just you.
Is that true?
Yes, it's true. The last time I brought it up, you had an emotional breakdown and got on a train and ran away.
Well, given my history on the subject, it seems a little reckless to bring it up now.
In season 8, the guys get into yet another argument about such matters. But when the conversation turns to Leonard possibly moving in with Penny, things go from confrontational to tear-filled, as they both realize how much they truly mean to each other.
I want you to know that I'm aware of how difficult I can be, so I just want to say thank you for putting up with me.
Buddy.
Number 18, the final scene. The living room of apartment 4A was the center of the Big Bang universe for 12 seasons. There might not be a more iconic image from the show than the gang sitting around the coffee table, talking and sharing a meal. So much so that it was part of the opening credits every week and was perfectly chosen as the final visual tableau of the series. How can that not bring a smile to your face? Now for the crying part. As happy as that final scene makes us, knowing it's the final time we'll be seeing the gang, reruns not included, makes the moment bittersweet. And overlaying a slowed down acoustic version of the theme song, it gets us every time.
Math, science, history, unraveling the mystery that all started with a big bang.
Number 17, Howard lifts off.
Oh my god, it's happening.
Did I miss it?
No, come on in, hurry.
Once Howard gets into space, there's a number of scenes that involve him crying and us laughing at him. Not exactly the happy crying we're looking for with this list.
I don't know how much longer I can take this. I can't sleep, and zero gravity is giving me crazy acid reflux. I'm down to my last 3 tums.
The kind we're looking for comes before Howard gets into space, just as he's setting off in that direction. With Howard and his fellow astronauts counting down in Russia, his friends have all gathered back in Pasadena to watch the liftoff live. As they watch, and as 10 counts down to 1, they each sit in quiet awe, both scared for and proud of their friend. Even Sheldon, Howard's most vocal critic, can't help but watch with wonder.
Boldly go, Howard Wolowitz.
3, 2, 1, Pashon.
Number 16, Sheldon has a beer with Bernadette's dad.
Oh, how do you not make a first down there?
They passed against a nickel defense. They should have run it off tackle.
How the hell do you know that?
My father loved football. He always made me watch it before I was allowed to do my homework.
Bernadette's quiet and emotionally distant father, Mike, isn't a character fans would generally associate with happy cry moments, especially when it comes to him and his son-in-law, Howard. But the moment in question here doesn't involve Howard. This one brings together Mike and Sheldon.
Does your dad still live in Texas?
No, he died when I was 14.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So was the man who owned the local liquor store. He cried and cried.
It begins when Dr. Cooper surprises Mike with his uncanny knowledge of football, a knowledge he gained from his own father before he passed away when Sheldon was still a young boy. This revelation tugs at Mike's heartstrings we didn't know he had. What follows is one of the most surprising bonding moments the show has ever given us, along with one of the best happy cries.
To your dad.
I never had a beer with my dad either. Do you mind? We're having a moment here.
Number 15, Leonard and Penny get engaged.
I need to start making some smart decisions
With your career?
with my life.
Like what?
I don't know. We could get married.
Even though things don't go very smoothly the first time Leonard proposes, we all knew that one day he and Penny would be married. However, just because we knew it was going to happen doesn't make the moment any less happy cryable. In fact, the way it happens almost makes it more so.
Hey, I finally realized I don't need to be famous or have some big career to be happy.
Then what do you need?
You stupid Pop-Tart!
What starts off as an argument turns into Penny proposing and Leonard half-heartedly accepting. Not happy crying yet. But then, just when it all seems like the least romantic engagement in history of television, the romance ninja hi-yas his way back into Penny and our hearts. He pulls out a ring he's been carrying around in his wallet for years and gets down on one knee. Now we happy cry.
Penny, will you marry me?
Oh my God, yes.
This would have been so much more romantic if you didn't have monkey hair on your finger.
Number 14, video of Sheldon's father. For much of the series, Sheldon's father is relegated to jokes about his excessive eating and drinking, plus the revelation that his infidelity was the catalyst to Sheldon's 3-knock ritual. But in the season 12 episode, The VCR Illumination, we get to see another side of Sheldon's father and his appreciation for him.
I got something that I think might cheer you up. It is the emergency pep talk you made when you were a kid.
Oh, that. No, I was saving it for the day they stopped making Star Wars movies. But I don't think that's ever gonna happen.
Still sad and angry about the failure of his and Amy's super asymmetry theory, Sheldon watches a video he made for himself years earlier when he was a kid. Unfortunately, his dad recorded over the VHS tape with his high school football game.
You learn as much about who you are and what you're made of from failing as you do from success. Maybe more. So you can spend the next half feeling sorry for yourselves, or you can get out there and give them hell.
But this turns out to be a good thing, as his dad's halftime speech leads them to a new and improved theory, and Sheldon thanking his father.
Thanks, Dad. We're gonna give them hell.
Number 13, the napkin. In the season 2 Christmas episode, Penny gives Sheldon a napkin. But this is no ordinary napkin. This is a piece of cloth that Leonard Nimoy signed and wiped his mouth on.
I possess the DNA of Leonard Nimoy?
It's a great gift for Sheldon for sure, but what makes the scene so perfect is it isn't just the gift, but Sheldon's reaction to it.
Sheldon, what did you do?
I know. It's not enough, is it?
In an attempt to match the napkin's value, he gives Penny all of the gift baskets he's gotten, as well as, and this is the big one, a hug.
Leonard, look, Sheldon's hugging me.
It's a Saturnalia miracle.
While the scene is one of the funniest of the entire series, witnessing Sheldon in a rare moment of human connection adds a little cry to that happy. Number 12, Sheldon's proposal. When Dr. Ramona Nowitzki kisses Sheldon and he immediately gets up and walks out of his office, we have no idea where he's going. When he leaves the university and gets in a cab, his destination is still unclear. Even when he gets on a plane at LAX, most of us watching could never have guessed his plans. And sure, when he finally knocks 3 times on the door of Amy's apartment at Princeton, we finally know his destination. But not what he's planning to do when he gets there. It isn't until she opens the door that it all comes together. And if the screams from the studio audience don't get you, Amy's reaction sure will.
Will you marry me?
Number 11, Howard's song for Bernadette. You know the expression, you'll laugh, you'll cry? Well, Howard's song for Bernadette in season 7 is a great and super catchy embodiment of that.
What's all this?
Well, tonight is the anniversary of our first date, and I wanted to celebrate it by writing a song for you.
To celebrate the anniversary of their first date, Howard surprises Bernadette with an original song he wrote for her. Due to unforeseen circumstances, he has to play it for her outside of an isolation room at the hospital. But that doesn't make it any less sweet and funny. And did we mention how catchy it is?
I'd be an atom without a bomb, a dot without the com, and I'd probably still live with my mom.
If the romance of it all doesn't have you happy tearing up from the start, when he sings about how good she's made his life, Bernadette won't be the only one crying with a smile on her face.
I couldn't have imagined how good my life would get from the moment that I met you, Bernadette.
Number 10, Penny sits in the bathroom with Sheldon.
I don't enjoy presents. And the thought of people jumping out and yelling surprise fills me with more dread than the words George Lucas director's cut.
Sheldon has always avoided celebrating his birthday because when he was a kid, no one came to his parties, and his sister and her friends would torment him. But when he finally agrees to have a party, he gets overwhelmed and retreats to the bathroom.
What's going on?
I don't know. I looked around the room and I saw all the faces and the presents, and it was just too much.
I get that.
Penny goes after him, and the moment they share is quite touching. Penny points out that there was a time when she too would have made fun of Sheldon, but now he's one of her favorite people.
You know, I hate that your sister and her friends used to torture you. What I hate even more is if I was there, I would have tortured you too.
It could be argued that the central relationship of the show is the loving friendship that develops between Penny and Sheldon, and this sweet scene is a wonderful encapsulation of that.
There was a time I never would have been friends with someone like you, and now you are one of my favorite people. So if what you need is to spend your birthday in a bathroom, I'm happy to do it with you.
Number 9, Howard finds out Bernadette is pregnant. We, the audience, found out that Bernadette was pregnant at the end of the previous episode.
We'll find another time to tell him I'm pregnant.
However, she didn't get a chance to tell Howard because he was bitten by a wild rabbit and went to the hospital to be safe. So, in a very cute gesture, Bernadette sets up a little kitchen scavenger hunt that leads Howard to reveal that he's going to be a dad.
We? What is this?
I don't know. Maybe it says something on the back.
The moment of silence and absolute joy that we see on his face when he reads the word pregnant was definitely a happy cry moment.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Pretty positive.
Number 8, Amy's Mima cookie present.
Look at you on Santa's lap. That's so sweet.
Oh, of course it is. It's a perfect gift.
Sheldon and Amy had agreed not to exchange gifts at Christmas, but Sheldon decides to get her a present anyway. Not to be nice, of course, but to get back at her for throwing a Victorian-era themed party that he's angry he has to go to.
Christmas is ruined. Let's never speak of it again. Oh, this was fun.
However, his plan backfires when Amy loves his gift and has gotten him something as well. This makes him even angrier until he opens up the gift and discovers that she's made him cookies just like the ones his Mima used to make.
Cookies?
They're your Mima's Christmas cookies. I called and got the recipe.
His shock and happiness left us all smiling too, while also wiping our eyes.
They're perfect. It tastes like her hugs.
Number 7, Sheldon tells Amy he loves her. As mentioned earlier, fans experienced the disappointment of Leonard telling Penny that he loves her, without her replying in kind. So when Amy was preparing to tell Sheldon how she felt, we were all nervous that the same fate might befall her, especially given that Sheldon had always been so emotionally closed off.
I really did think you looked pretty.
You did?
Yes. So much so that I started to panic.
At a prom night organised by Amy and Bernadette, Amy decides to tell Sheldon how she feels, but is nervous about how he'll respond.
There's something else I've been wanting to say, but before I do, I want you to know that you don't have to say it back. I know you're not ready, and I don't want you to say it just because social convention dictates
I
that
love you too.
So not only did it make us happy to hear him say it, but for him to cut in and say it first. Well, that just added some tears of joy to our happiness.
There's no denying I have feelings for you that can't be explained in any other way.
Number 6, Bernadette made Howard a better man. At Howard's stag party, Raj gets drunk and makes a speech that pretty much covers every sexual adventure Howard has had since they've known each other.
The only threesome I've ever had in my whole life, and I'm proud to say it was with this man right here!
Will Wheaton films the speech, puts it on YouTube, and Bernadette watches it and finds out about a lot of things Howard never told her.
You lied to me. You said you told me about all the girls you've been with, but you never mentioned your cousin, the prostitute, or Raj.
So where does this go from angry sad to happy sad? Well, that happens when Howard asks Penny to deliver a message to Bernadette about how she's made him a better man.
What I really want her to know is that the guy that she's disgusted by is the guy that I'm disgusted by too, but that guy doesn't exist anymore. He's gone. And the reason is because of her.
Sure, it was reminiscent of Jack Nicholson in As Good As It Gets,
You make me want to be a better man.
but it was heartfelt and revealing of just how much Howard had changed since the early years.
If this relationship is over, let her know that she made me a better man and tell her thank you.
Number 5, Sheldon sees Amy's wedding dress. This is yet another moment of happy tears that initially looked like it might just be tears without any of the happiness.
This is it. This is the one.
When Amy falls in love with a wedding dress that both Bernadette and Penny dislike, she feels sad and starts to doubt her choice.
Do you love it?
Do you?
I do!
Wow.
However, that sadness and doubt vanish the moment Sheldon comes home and sees her in the dress.
Guess who's no longer allowed to set foot in... Wow! You look beautiful.
His reaction of pure joy and love at how amazing she looks is exactly what Amy needed. It's just another indication of how perfect a match these two are.
Really? Because I was gonna return it.
Why would you return it? Well, you look like a pile of swans.
Number 4, Penny's box of memories.
This is great. Thank you so much.
What?
Nothing. I love it.
When Penny's attempt at romance falls short, she shows Leonard a box of mementos that she's saved from over all the years they've known each other. The box is filled with gifts from Leonard and mementos of the times they've had together.
Here's the plane ticket you bought me when I was too poor to go home for the holidays, and the rose you left in my windshield just because. Here's the thank you letter you wrote me after the first time I slept with you.
Seeing everything she's held on to reinforces the fact that she's loved him for longer than she might be willing to admit. However, the eye-watering cherry on top of it all is what she says when Leonard can't believe that she's saved all this stuff.
Of course I did. It's you.
Number 3, Raj talks to Penny sober. For the first 8 episodes of this series, Raj couldn't talk to girls at all.
Okay, Raj, what'll it be?
Whatever you recommend.
How about a grasshopper? I make a mean grasshopper.
Then he discovered that he could talk to the opposite sex if he was drinking alcohol, and Penny was the first girl he talked to.
Where did my life go, Penny? One day I'm a carefree bachelor, and the next I'm married and driving a minivan to PV cricket matches in suburban New Delhi.
5 seasons later, and we'd become accustomed to Raj relying on alcohol. So when Penny came over to console him after Lucy broke up with him, the assumption was that he was talking to her because he was drunk.
What is wrong with me? Why can't I ever have love?
You will.
No, what? I am unlovable.
That's just the booze talking.
No, it's not. I haven't had a drink since last night.
However, in one of the biggest surprises of the entire series, Raj was completely sober, turning this moment of heartbroken tears into one filled with happy ones.
You're talking to me.
I am. And I'm crying for a whole different reason.
Number 2, the multiple versions of the letter from Howard's father. Before this episode, all we knew about Howard's father was that he left when Howard was a little kid.
Howard, I found this letter from your dad in a box. Now, based on the content, it could either be filed...
You opened this?
Well, I had to find out if it was personal correspondence or memorabilia. Now, as I was saying, based on the content...
I couldn't be less interested.
However, on Howard's 18th birthday, his dad sent him a letter he never opened. When Sheldon is organising Howard and Bernadette's closet, he finds and reads the letter.
Howard, did you want to know what's in the letter?
If I wanted to know, I would have opened it years ago.
Howard doesn't want to know what the letter says, but eventually everyone else does know. To provide Howard with some type of closure, Sheldon comes up with the idea of telling him 6 versions of the letter, with only one being the truth.
You didn't know it, but your father was in the auditorium at your high school graduation. And he cried because he was so proud of you.
The happiness this brings Howard is so touching, and probably the first time the thought of his father has brought a smile to his face in a long while.
Inside the envelope was a picture of your dad holding you the day you were born. On the back he wrote, "Howard, my son, my greatest gift."
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You'll have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Sheldon's speech.
I was under a misapprehension that my accomplishments were mine alone. Nothing could be further from the truth.
Sheldon had dreamed his entire life of winning the Nobel Prize, and to expect a speech focused on anything but himself would have been absurd, given how selfish and self-focused we know he can be.
How can you call them friends when they're abandoning us?
They're abandoning us because you broke their hearts.
But when Amy finally opens his eyes to how his actions have truly hurt his friends, he makes his speech all about them.
I have been encouraged, sustained, inspired, and tolerated, not only by my wife, but by the greatest group of friends anyone ever had.
Each one of the main characters went through some kind of transformation and growth over the course of the show's 12 seasons, but maybe none more than Sheldon Cooper. His Nobel Prize acceptance speech is the perfect culmination of that growth, and the most happy, cry-worthy moment that the show gave us.
I apologize if I haven't been the friend you deserve, but I want you to know, in my way, I love you all.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.